Alright, Karl, what did you learn?
Right, like I say, I don't like reading books. There's too much to take in.
It's
and
too
so I
much
haven't got
word.
time, I'm busy and that.
Yeah. I don't like reading books, actually. But go on.
So,
but I have done. So, go on.
Right, so I was looking in this magazine, right? And it was more about... Do you know, I'm not that impressed with Einstein and Newton and that lot.
No, why should you be? What have they ever done? Go on.
No, but... You know the fact... You see, the Columbus thing, he's another one, isn't he, who got a bit of praise for finding America.
Yeah.
And it's like... someone else would have come across that at some point.
Yep.
Right? And yet, news this week, they've found 2 new types of frog, right? No one's making a fuss. And look how small they are, compared to what he bumped into. And that's what I'm saying. People make a big deal out of all these people who are finding stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, the next person...
I mean, my head's buzzing, but I can't be bothered. I actually can't be bothered. Don't think this reaction's a good reaction. I don't know where to start with this drivel, but carry on.
Right. So anyway, the next fella, who...
Next fella? See, I don't know. You talk in riddles.
The next fella I'm going to talk about,
Go on,
Einstein.
Yeah.
Right, everyone raves about him all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm trying to get into my head.
Yeah.
Like, why is amazing and that.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So, did a bit of reading up on him in this science magazine.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I read it. It's only I don't know, 200 words, whatever, trying to get across what he worked out. But I read it last night.
Is it relativity you're talking about?
Yeah.
Well, to say yeah, like I just made that word up.
Yeah.
You heard
that
was his biggest...
yeah,
okay, so the 200 words, as far as you recall...
So anyway, so I read it, and I was like, I don't know what is going on about here, right? So Suzanne was with me, I said, can you read this? She said, I'm watching Sex and the City, right? I said, right, but can you read it and explain to me what I don't understand here? She said, well, I don't understand it.
Yeah. It's great. It's like she's thinking, I haven't got kids, and yet he still wants me to help with his homework, and I'm watching telly. Yeah. I've been at work all day.
So she said, look, go in the bedroom, read it out loud to yourself. Maybe it make more sense if you read it out loud. Right, so I said, right, I'll go and do that then. And it was good because it's cool in there anyway, right? So I went in there. So reading it out twice. Went back and I said, I don't get it still. Right? So she said, right, wait 10 minutes and I'll sort it out. So I was sat there looking at it, trying to work it out before she had to look at it. I was like, no, forget this. Now, what he was saying is, if you send a man to the moon, right?
Yeah.
He was saying to the fella in the rocket, it would seem like 20 years to him.
Yeah, not the moon, but yeah.
No, it was. That's what it said. It said the moon.
Well, it wouldn't, because it's only about...
No, but listen. So it took 20 years to the fella, yet people who are on the Earth, it would seem like 2,000.
Yeah, because time is relative, not...
I don't... What do you mean?
Right. Well, listen, the fact is that it's tending towards the speed of light where it really makes a difference. They've even done it with atomic clocks, where they've sent one up even in Concorde, and it's like 0.01 of a second difference.
What is the watch?
Yes. Yeah, because greater speeds.
But why does speed affect how a watch works?
Right, I don't think this is a conversation...
Look, speed is...
Sorry,
see
stop!
What I mean,
just
see
stop
what
for
I mean,
a moment.
Steve? Right. See what I've done?
I don't think this is a conversation to be had on a Saturday afternoon on a radio show.
But I'm just saying, though. It's not me, is it?
It is you.
You went quiet, Steve.
No, because...
You're having problems
Because
there.
I'm not going to be able to explain it to you.
I will explain
in
it to
a
you
light, frothy way.
It's speed equals... basically, velocity equals distance over time. When velocity doesn't change, and nor does distance, time has to. That's his theory. Yeah?
Well, we just got
What's your point then, Karl? What's your point?
I'm just saying...
Because you don't understand it's worthless.
I was trying to explain to Newton, that basically formulated, the laws of the universe, the 3 laws of the universe. Even playing snooker, I'm trying to drop something. I was going, well, equal and opposite reaction and all these sort of stuff, right? And he was going, what did he do apart from the apple on his head with the gravity? And I went, well, what do you mean? And he went, well... why was it a problem? If we had been floating round, I'd have called him in. But since we're not, we don't need him. That's what he said. Play a record. You're a buffoon. If you get a transsexual, It's not a transvestite. This isn't just a builder in a dress. They have the hormone replacement as well, so they get estrogen, so they and electrolysis, so they have, you know, their face looks different, they don't go bald, they're slighter, they you know what I mean? They're the real thing. A transsexual is now the real thing. Biologically and politically and...
But they'll still be a man, won't they?
Well, it'd be embarrassing if they don't tell their new partner and there's pictures of them, you know, down the pub when they were 24, but you probably sort of get over that, don't you? They go, "Who's the fella with the beard drinking the yard of ale?" That was me.
Well, interesting story. Probably should have told you this before the honeymoon.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can have all that done, right? There's stuff, you know, you could have your bits done, right? You can have, like, false teeth, but you know that when you see an old person with a good set of teeth, it's like, well, they're false. There's no way you've got good teeth like that if you were brought up in, like, the 30s.
But what would you do if Suzanne said, "Look, I've got a terrible secret," and she showed you a picture of this kid, this little boy, growing up, you know, playing football, and then the pictures stop at 20, just before you met her, and, she goes, and she shows you a nice pair of bollocks in a jar, she goes, "They were mine."
Well, first thing is he'd take back the gloves you bought her last week.
Would you go, "Oh, I can't go out with you now"? Or would you say, "Well, you're the same person"? I've blown his mind.
Yeah,
I really have freaked him out there.
She is into sport.
Eh? Should we play a record while you give her a call?
No, but look, what I'm saying is, right, it doesn't matter what you have done. We can wrap this up here, because I've got it sorted, right?
Okay.
Doesn't matter what you have done, at the end of the day, it's obvious that you've had it done. If you're a fella and you've been changed to a woman, I could spot you, right? If...
You can't, though.
I tell you what, I was at Suzanne's mum and dad's, right, up north last week, and I went to the off licence, right?
Yeah.
And I went in there, never seen this fella before, right? Soon as I walk in, I eye him up behind the counter and go, "Alright, mate."
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
I notice he's got a wig on, right?
Yeah.
Now, it was, I kinda looked and I thought, yeah, it's a wig, whatever. And then, I thought, I wonder if it is, and as I got to the till, I said, "How much is that?" He said, you know, 50 pence, I said, "Great." And as he turned to the till...
Were you buying Suzanne a gift?
As he turned to the till and he did that sort of angle, you got the profile, you see the bit sticking out of the back, you go, "That's a wig."
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. And it's like a little, it just, the last inch just lifts away from the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, everybody who goes in that shop will probably know him as having a wig and that. It keeps him happy, but everybody knows. So, what I'm saying is, it's like...
But could I just say, transsexuals put in a little bit more effort than a fella who's plunked a rug on top and held it down with some duct tape. Do you know what I mean? You know, the only giveaway often with a transsexual is the big hands. They can't do anything about that. That's the only thing, you know.
Right,
But I mean, transvestites are different, you know, they are builders in the dress. You go in a supermarket, you turn around, you see a 6-foot woman, huge head, you go, "Alright, love." Do you know what I mean? You know, down below, she's packing more than us three put together.
That's what I'm saying.
But, you know what I mean, that's one thing. If Eddie Izzard, right, you're meeting Eddie Izzard, right, who likes to pop on a dress now and again, right? What's the politics with that? Do you go, as he walks in, he's all in evening gown, and he goes, "Alright, Karl," and you go, "Alright, Eddie," and it's in a busy pub, and you go, "Oh, why is he?" And you go, do you say, "Do you want a pint of bitter?" and slap him on the back like you would a mate, or do you go, "That's lovely, that's a lovely dress"? Do you know what I mean? What do you do? What do you do with a transvestite?
Would you compliment a transvestite
on their lovely dress?
if he was wearing a nice dress? In the same way that you would if Suzanne was wearing a nice
Probably in a different way. I'd probably say, "That dress, you know, looks nice. Be even nicer on a woman."
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So you try and change the way they think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd want to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
Sure.
In a way.
Yeah.
It's just, it's one of them things I can't get my head around, to be honest, right? I can handle hairy Chinese kids.
Yeah.
Is it true to say that you've never been able to handle a transvestite? Listen, Karl, you're going on holiday. You need a little rest, don't you?
Yeah.
What's the vibe? What's the vibe of the day? What's the crack on holiday? Come on.
Where are you going?
Madeira.
Right.
Good.
It's for Suzanne's dad, right? My girlfriend's dad. He's 60, so...
Yeah,
She's
that's the
taking-
average age in Madeira.
Taking,
I've been.
is it?
It's quite, yeah.
Well, they're
My
taking-
mate Damo went to Madeira, and he was worried about sort of terrorism on the plane, and he looked around and he thought, well, if someone gets up, someone will wrestle him to the floor, and he looked round, and he was the only one he realised could have got out of his seat quickly enough. So, you'll enjoy it, it's quite quiet, it's nice.
It'll be alright. I mean, it's the first time a mum and dad have been away, so...
Whatever.
Abroad, yeah. So
Right.
they're worrying about... They just don't understand the rules and stuff, so they're panicking a bit. And then in the week he called
they know
up...
Well,
that
they're going to take livestock.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting like that. It was like...
Are they filling loads of Durags with heroin as we speak?
Exactly.
No, but, do they know about passports expiring, don't they? I mean, they're not completely stupid.
they know about all that, right?
Yeah.
And he called up in the week, one of the questions said, what's the best thing, when you're going abroad, what's the best thing to use to carry tea bags? So it was like, what are you worrying about that for? They'll sell tea bags out there. And he's like, well, we want to take our own. It's like, they'll sell tea bags.
Yeah.
And he's worrying about that. He's saying, can I put it in a glass jar? So put it in a glass jar then. He's saying, oh, I'll bubble wrap it. So he's bubble wrapping a tea thing. It's just, I mean, it is annoying me a bit, because it's meant to be a week off from you annoying me, and already he's niggling me.
Yeah.
But you are easily wound up. You are a very finicky little fussy person. You don't like the slightest bit of pressure. See, I thrive on pressure. I'm working here, working there.
That's the way I
bang.
work as well. That's always doing stuff, monkey news. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, monkey.
It was my birthday, right? Went home after working with you a couple of Saturdays ago, right? Girlfriend was like, open your card, and I said, no, it's my birthday on Monday, I'll open it then.
You obey by the rules, don't you, of birthdays? The birthday rules.
Well, there's no point.
Well, exactly, chaos leads that way.
Yeah, right, so,
Not an anarchist, never has been.
so anyway, she was kept going on, and it was doing me head in, so I said, alright, I'll open it.
Yeah.
So I opened it, ticket fell out, surprise holiday to one of the Canary Islands. So...
And what was your reaction? I mean...
First one was, we haven't got enough money
Right.
for this, but I didn't want to ruin it, so...
No.
So I didn't go on about that, and I said, oh, it'd be great, so I can't wait. So,
Did you say it in that tone of voice?
well, it was good timing, because I was tired and everything, and I'm not a big holiday fan,
No.
but the timing was right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's the same as last night. I don't always like a curry, but last night,
You're in the
Yeah.
mood.
you get that sort of, oh, yeah.
Curry. You had a feeling.
Yeah, you had a feeling
You
for a
thought,
curry.
oh, and then lo and behold, later you were eating the curry. It's weird, isn't it?
Very
Isn't it weird, the
strange. Life is-
paranormal? Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird?
They work in mysterious ways,
Yeah,
ghosts.
yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway, right, the island, if I was on Wish You Were Here, I'd probably say it's a bit barren.
Okay.
Not much there, but if you get a hotel, you're guaranteed good weather, right?
Are you?
No, what I mean is, it'll be a good holiday. If you get a hotel, right, the weather's always good, so you'll have a nice
Yeah,
time.
that was
I
a
see.
comma, yeah, it was a, yeah, go on.
And all that, and the food was alright, and everything was going alright. I was just having a nice, relaxing time.
And how do you sort of spend your time on a holiday? You just lie around? Is that
That sort of holiday, just lying around. I bought a book.
You bought a book?
Yeah.
Okay, ghosts?
No, it was short stories, right? It
About
was like
ghosts?
no, it was about like special days in our time and time before me and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like it was telling you about how in I think it was 1814 the Thames frozen up.
Yeah.
And all these stories are told by eyewitnesses.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So there's some fella who was around in 1814. And the Thames was frozen, and people used to put market stalls on there,
Yeah.
and they'd
Yeah.
do the shopping. It was like it was like an Oxford Street.
Was that Mad Liar Charlie? No, because he's famous for that.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sure you know.
No, I think that was Mad Liar Charlie.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was reading that, and then after a couple of days was a bit like, oh,
Boring.
yeah, you can only do sort of so much lying around.
And so much reading.
So Suzanne said, let's go on the beach, have a walk.
You ain't gone on the beach?
Where had you
Hang
been
on a minute.
up to this point then? In your room?
No, just like round the pool, just
Sure.
relaxing and having a swim and that.
Yeah.
So she said, let's go on the beach. I said, all right then, yeah. So wandered down to the beach, and first impressions are, yeah, it's all right, it's clean. Sea
Your
looks good.
criteria is so basic, it's brilliant.
Right.
Hotel, yes. Roof, good. Food, adequate. Beach, clean. Next.
So I'm walking along, and everything's good, and you know, there's a woman feeding fish bread, which I thought that's different.
likes originality. He loves a bit of originality.
He was feeding fish bread.
This woman was there, like, up to her knees in water.
Yeah.
And she was stood
Was
there.
that the sea?
Chucking, yeah.
Oh, right, good.
Chucking this bread, and I thought, what's she doing? And I stood there and watched for a minute, and there was little fish coming up. I'm in the bread. I thought, oh. So we carried on walking, and, everything's going well, and then this fella comes towards me.
Everything's going well.
Yeah, that's
I haven't
original.
fallen over.
Clean feeding bread. 2 points for originality.
It's going well.
Good, yeah.
Fella comes walking towards me.
Oi, oi.
He's only got no pants on.
Oh.
So I said, Suzanne, what's going on?
Why did he turn to her? Like she knows more
So
than him.
she said, oh, yeah, it's, she said, yeah, it's a nudist.
Is this going to be a long story? Could you pour that coffee? Can you give me that coffee over? Sorry, this is really bad. Because he's pouring... Thank you.
Just amuse yourselves while we sort the coffee.
Thank you very much.
Steve, do you want
I'll have a cup of coffee, Karl.
Right.
Thanks. Yeah. Cheers.
Cold. Right, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Great. Thank you.
so she said, yeah, it's a nudist beach. So I said, well, why, what? I said, we're all it's all mixed up. Normally on a nudist beach, it's a nudist beach and you don't go wandering on there when you get your clothes on and that. So it annoyed me a bit, because there wasn't any signs. So this fella's getting closer.
Well, the knob out was a sign.
Yeah. Right, so he's getting closer, and he walked past me. It was an old fella, and he walked past and he had a hat on and a little pipe, and a big rucksack on his back. Right, so it got me thinking.
Not strictly naked.
I'm walking along, and I'm thinking, right, why do people want to do this? So straight away, I wasn't on holiday anymore, because most of the time when I'm on holiday, I don't think about anything. Right?
Your mind's a blank.
I just switch off. Right? But all of a sudden, this has got in my head now, and I turn around to look at him, and
Check out his arse.
and this bag, right? I swear,
That's his ballsack.
it was massive, right?
What? You had a massive bag?
The bag,
His rucksack.
his rucksack.
Oh, right, okay. Because when he said there was an old couple coming towards me, and I said, what was lower, the bloke's bollocks or the woman's tits? And he said, well, that was another point, she might as well have worn knickers. Because he said, I was so naked, that's what he said to me.
So you saw the bag.
So it annoyed me, yeah, because the whole idea in it, this is what I think, I mean, I might be wrong, right? Might be wrong.
Chances
You
are
never
quite
have been,
strong.
you never have been before.
Being nudist, right? What's it all about? Like how when I went to the BAFTAs with you, and I wasn't really enjoying it, you were like...
He said what?
No, you didn't tell us this.
Ungrateful.
There were so many people.
You're like a little charity case. You're like, oh,
I had
God.
chicks queuing up
Yeah.
round the block.
You'd
wanting to
usually
come.
have to,
I know, but I
someone
told
like you
you.
would have to write to Jim or Fix It or Esther Ranson to get them to meet us sort of people. And now it's on your
I'm
doorstep.
amazed that you didn't enjoy it. Why didn't you
God.
enjoy it? You got to walk down the red carpet. You went in. There was George Best, one of your footballing heroes, was there. A load of
was
other
good.
big names. You sat there, you had prime position. You came backstage with a load of other big names. Hey, you had a lovely bit of
You were
grub.
filming this thing for the DVD we're making. That's you, a cameraman on our DVD. And yet you think, oh, and now you look grumpy because you had a couple of pints and I can't believe
So
it.
tell us why you didn't enjoy it, because the ceremony, what didn't you enjoy about that? It was interminable, wasn't it?
far too long.
Wasn't it awful? So
3
boring.
hours.
I thought you were going to say something.
Really?
Sorry.
3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose for you two, at least, you know, you were going to get something.
Sure.
Yeah.
But with me, it's like, I mean, I've never graduated or anything, so
Have you not?
I'm trying to think of a situation. Basically, I sat there 3 hours knowing that I'm not going to get anything out of the night.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
Did you, sorry, when we invited you and you said yes, did you think you were up for an award?
No, but I thought we were going to be sat round tables, having a nice bit of food,
Yeah.
whilst people are going up there winning awards.
Yeah.
But 3 hours of the same thing over and over again. I mean, if a film's 3 hours in the cinema,
Yeah.
you go, well, it's long, but, you know, I wonder how it's going to end.
Yeah.
But this was just like the same thing over and over again. Some guy going up, thanks a lot, cheers for the bit of brass. And then going down, sitting down, the same thing over and over again. I wouldn't, honestly, right, I'd say it was one of the worst things I've ever had to do. No, I enjoyed the night afterwards when we did have a bit of lamb and a nice bit of veg and that. That was
Yeah.
alright, and I went home and I was happy, and I got the little freebie bag that you're talking about that we're giving away.
Yeah.
which wasn't much good stuff in it.
Oh,
Alright!
right.
No, for
What
Suzanne,
would you have done on that Saturday night?
Suzanne
What
said
would you have done or the Sunday night rather, what would you have done had you been at home?
I would have stayed in with Suzanne, right, watching telly, having a nice bit of pate on toast or something, cup of tea, watching 24. But instead, I had to buy an expensive suit, so I didn't show you up, right?
Yeah. How much did you spend on your suit?
Well, in total, right, because, you know, the shoes and the suit and the shirt and the tie, it was about 600 quid.
That's the most expensive evening ever!
That's what I'm saying to you. And the daft thing is, it's dark in there. I don't know why you've got to wear a nice suit.
You can't wear a tracksuit, for goodness sake.
It's dark in there!
No, just the shirt and that. It doesn't make you a better person wearing a suit.
No, doesn't make you a
what I
better
mean?
person, no.
We're not claiming it made you a better person.
No, but that annoyed me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an experience, innit? That's why I went, because you think, if I didn't go, if I would have said to you when you invited me, no, Steve, I don't want to go, then I would have never known, right?
Yeah.
And that's my sort of thing in life, right?
Yeah.
If something comes up, you should take it, even if you're not going to like it. It's a bit of an experience.
Right.
You know what he said to me? I phoned him up because we had to meet up, and obviously he had to pose as my gay lover.
Yeah.
To get in, right?
Yeah.
He phoned me, what? He said something to me like, I bought a suit, I'm looking good. He said, I'm looking good. People will think, how on earth did he end up with that good-looking guy?
So he got into the role.
That was what he said to me.
He started getting into it.
Such an insult.
Play a record.
I just must say that we've had an email from Darryl Foss. Lots of people have emailed in and said, well done on the BAFTAs and well done on your Room 101. They really liked that.
Thank you.
There's one guy, and it's Darryl says, Ricky, has your dad only got one D-Mob suit? Because I know you noticed that Ricky wears the same suit every single time he appears on TV, because he spent a fortune on it getting it tailor-made.
I've only got one.
It's a good suit, and
I
he wears it all the
know.
time.
And it's winter as well, it's like a pure wool, so I'm sweating everywhere I go. Anyway, usually it's too much cheese.
I won't be buying another.
Huh?
I won't be buying another one.
Ever.
now. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Suzanne told me today, right, because I've handed it in today to have the trousers turned up a bit.
Why?
Because it was a bit of a bodge job for the night.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just some pins sort of holding it up the other night, but you didn't notice, and I didn't tell you because I thought you'd be getting on the stage and saying, "Look at that freak over there with his pants hemmed up." But I took it to the place to get it done. Suzanne tells me that I'm going to start shrinking now and getting to that age where you start going small.
So just go back to insults briefly.
Go on,
You know,
Goofy.
saying,
Oh, no, see, that's...
Goofy, that's not fair.
No, because that's what he said, it's in my head.
What do you mean he said?
No,
When did he say that?
No, I mean...
When did you call me Goofy?
No, he didn't. He said about what's in
Baldy?
my head.
Hey,
no, when it's...
come
Mate,
on.
come off it. Don't
What? Who's
start
calling
on
me Goofy?
No.
I'm not even Goofy. Goggle-eyed's fair enough.
Yeah, but you can sort your look
Lanky.
out. I can't.
What do you mean how can I sort my look out? I'm not even Goofy. That's
got-
not fair.
You've got the proper features.
What?
Just needs sorting out a bit. I can't help it if my hair's not good.
I noticed the other day when Karl was sitting on your knee having his picture taken. It's a long story, right? He's got a completely spherical head. It's slightly too small. I'm not being funny because I mean, you know, I'm not perfect. But he's got a completely spherical little head. He looks a little bit like a baby hamburger. You know, hamburger off McDonald's.
Sure.
He looks like a little baby hamburger, and it's sort of quite put upon. It's
Suzanne thinks I look like that thing in that Dulux advert. Do you know when the woman pulls the head off that?
That little plasticine
Yeah,
morph type
and then they
thing.
make a new head for it. And it's like a little head.
really.
And that's your girlfriend saying it.
I know. Anyway, listen. Let's get back to business here.
That is tied into
He
the
went to
musical.
see that musical.
Really?
Yeah, on New Year's, you know what it's like on New Year's Day, there's nothing to do.
Sure.
So
I
you're
took
going to see
Suzanne
some
out.
people doing madness songs.
No, I took Suzanne out for a walk, right?
Yeah.
Went round Covent Garden,
Right.
past the place where it was on.
The stage door was open, you snuck in.
Well, I said Madness are alright. And because when you think about it, Madness songs are quite sort of musical anyway, aren't they? So you can't
They're quite
do-
musical.
Do you know what I mean? They sort
He
of...
means they're
Oh,
like
I
a
see, right, they're
musical,
like a-
yeah.
like a musical.
Knees up Mother Brown.
I thought it was alright, enjoyed it.
Blur the musical would be good, wouldn't it?
Blur the musical would be excellent.
Yeah, little Cockney
so
Sparrow.
what, you bought tickets there and then and just went in?
No.
They're not selling, are they?
It was fairly quiet because
No.
we only paid the lower price and we got upgraded for free.
Nice.
So
You
I
enjoyed it,
don't
did you?
No, I'd loved it.
And would
So,
anyone like to come on stage with us?
Yeah.
The little bald fella. Yeah, go on, I'll give it a go.
And what home are you from?
What are you doing tomorrow? Well, I'm going. No, you're coming here tomorrow. Come here tomorrow.
We've got.
How do you get so many breaks and holidays? Because you went away with Suzanne's parents. You've just been away with your parents. That's a couple of weeks, 10 days. So that's probably about 3 weeks in all. You had that. You went to Manchester. You had that day off because your trousers were wet. I mean, and I suppose because you've only got one job, and I've got a lot more. This is just one of my jobs. But I mean, don't you ever count your blessings? Go, God, thank God, I can have time off. I don't work too hard. I'm not stressed too much.
No. It's just all to do with when you do work, do a lot. So I get a lot done.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm always doing stuff. I mean, even though when I was in Cornwall, right, I'm sat there on the grass.
I'd love to just sit on the grass.
Oh, yeah,
Just
you're too busy.
chill out a little bit. I know, yeah, well,
Me dad and Suzanne are playing crib, right? I'd sort of fallen out with him at
Your
that
dad
point.
and Susanna are playing
Why did you
crib.
fallen
Because
out
you do
with
live
who?
in the 1940s.
Yeah, why did you fallen out?
Because with crib, have you ever played crib?
Yeah,
Right, you've got to be pretty good at maths.
sure.
You've got to make your cards add up to 15 and all
Well,
that.
yeah, I was just gonna correct you on you've got to be good at maths. Yeah. What, algebra, quantum physics, what?
No, just adding up.
Adding up to 15. Brilliant.
I mean,
You can almost do it on your fingers.
my dad's,
You could in Cornwall.
Yeah.
but my dad's really good at maths, and like he said, how many have you got? And he always counts his, and it's like 15 2, 15 4, 15 6, 3 for your at, 1 and all that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He adds it up really
One
quick.
for his knob.
Right, so I was like, right, hang on a minute. And he goes, no, what do you mean, hang on? I don't, what have you got? He says, oh, forget it. I said, this isn't fun if you're going to start getting all arsey with me.
Sure.
So,
Forget it. I love it. But I don't know him, but I'm sure he's just winding you up. His victory is you going, forget it, I'm not playing.
well, anyway, right, so it doesn't matter. I think I'll go off and do some prep, right,
Yes.
do some research for Saturday. Found one of Suzanne's magazines, right, flicking through, because there's always interesting stuff in there. There was something about swingers.
Right.
And I was like, what's all that about?
Yeah.
And it had an interview with some people talking about, how they sleep about a bit.
Yeah.
And I thought, if my wife looked like that, I probably would. Because there was a few pictures of them, and they were all pretty ugly.
Yes.
And I thought, right. So I took that in, soaked that up, thought, there you go. Carried on reading. There was a bit in there about how women still have crushes, right?
Yes.
And the woman was going on about how she's 38, right? But she still fancies Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Uh-huh.
And, even though it'll never happen, she's still got that little bit in her head
Yeah.
that thinks one day she'll leave Gwyneth, right? And end up with her, right?
Right.
Anyway, so I'm thinking this is a bit boring, but I'm flicking through it all. And,
Is this a Rockbusters clue?
no, right? And I read further on, right? And she said, I like to go out with my mates, and we come up with lists in pubs of people who they'd be nice to go out with. She also came up with a list of unlikely lust objects, I think she called them.
Yeah.
Guess who was in that list?
Ricky Gervais.
Think again.
Karl Pilkington.
Right? Next one.
Johnny Vegas.
Said, lanky co-writer.
Rubbish.
Lanky co-writer.
What do you mean lanky co-writer?
Well, do I need to say any more? He said,
hang on, wait a minute. Let's not talk about... I don't know why you're laughing at my expense. I'm an unlikely lust object.
yeah,
But yeah, what was it called? The list?
the unlikely lost object
Yeah.
list. You were in there, right?
Who else was?
Well, you weren't in there.
Richard Madeley,
Fine.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy.
Alistair Campbell.
Brilliant. Another handsome dude. What you talking about? You think I'm ashamed or embarrassed about that? I'm proud of it. What magazine was it? I need to buy a couple of copies.
It was.
Need to get a t-shirt made.
Yeah, and did she leave her number?
Yeah.
But it's not, it is boring in hotel rooms, because I told you before about when I was in Edinburgh and had nothing to do, there was nothing on the telly, and you've eaten the shortbread biscuits and that.
Yeah.
And so that's when I read the phone book to see how many...
That's when you read the phone book.
Well, to see how many Macs were in Scotland, McAtee, Macintosh,
Sure. Yeah.
and it was 42 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan, I don't know if he'd already done that.
Yeah.
And he said he He shaved his arse.
Now, when we say shaved his arse, so
Not his cheeks, his...
Oh, all of it.
Yeah, all of it.
Did he say that?
Well, I think that's...
but other than the cheeks,
But then,
there's not much left.
But then we got to the fact that me and Jonathan, if we pooled our wealth, we could have shaved Karl's arse for £1,000.
Right.
And he said, yeah, for £1,000 you can shave my arse. Suzanne said, can I say this bit?
Your girlfriend said what, Karl?
She was annoyed. She said, well, I'm not allowed to go there. Why is anyone else? And of course the whole table stopped and leant in and said, what? She went, he doesn't like me touching him there. I went, what do you mean?
This is too much information.
It was too much information.
I like the fact that you've had this conversation with her. I like the idea that she touched your arse once and you went, whoa, hands off.
Yeah.
I love you, but keep your hands away from the arse.
Do you know why he said he's talking about the most intimate part of the arse, the middle arse he's talking about, and he said, I said, why? He went, it's a bit gay, isn't it? I said, how can a girl touching it be a bit gay?
If you stood behind you, it could be anyone, right?
Oh God! And it seemed, I mean, you can imagine the conversations we were having, right? And it's that thing that the waitress heard something every time she came over. She heard the word, like, cock or...
Jonathan Ross saying I shaved my arse.
yeah. And, oh dear. But it was, yeah, it was a good night, wasn't it? So, it's £1,000 now, isn't it? But presumably you give Suzanne half anyway, so everyone will be happy. You've used the arse to best effect. She's got half out of it, so she's made as much out of your arse as you have, in a sense. Me and Jonathan are happy.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's his arse on the line. So...
I know, but I mean, you know, it's not like she's getting a bum deal.
Well,
she's getting 500, you know, quid.
No, I understand that.
But, do you reckon?
Just thinking some more.
Play a record!
Can I just ask, before you play a record, if we were to shave your arse, let's say we did it for charity or something, got sponsorship, how would we do it? Would we use one of those big kind of old-fashioned razors?
No, I'd use a Bic Safety. I'd just straight away...
And would you use a gel or a foam?
No, first of all, yeah, I think I just, lather it up. Right,
so you'd lather up his arse first?
I do the outside bits, just go straight down, big broad strokes, clean, right? Then I'd have to go in the crevices, and I'd need an assistant, I'd pop it apart, and just very gently go in there. I might even use electronic equipment, just so there was no sort of, like, nicks.
Okay.
So
an electric razor?
Or, I might wax the internal middle arse.
Okay. How did Jonathan do it? Because he did it on his own, didn't he?
I just use mirrors. Why don't I'll ask him, we'll call him later. But, I don't know.
Well, perhaps you listening have once shaved your arse, maybe during an exam or something.
What I think, and this is conjecture, but I think he was probably there, he'd had a shower, he's shaved his face, right, and thought, well, he was naked, looks down and goes, oh, what a hairy arse. Well, hold on, I've got the razor in this hand, I've got the mirror there, you know, I'm not on stage for a good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's one thing I don't like going on stage with, is a hairy arse. Bang, drink, wallop, done. On stage, thanks, see you later. See you next week. Yeah? What are you thinking, Karl?
No, it's just how hairy was it? Do you know what I mean? How hairy was it? Because I imagine, I mean, you're saying mirrors and stuff. But he's, I mean, how old is he now? He's
42.
And they say your testicles drop quite a bit once you start getting old, don't they?
Yeah.
So he's got to make sure they're out of the way. Tuck them
Yeah,
to one
but
side.
I don't think, I mean, I can speak for myself, you know, as a similar age to Jonathan, that, I mean, you know, if there's millimetres in it, it's not like we tuck them in our socks in the morning. Okay. They're still in the same place. You really wouldn't know the difference. It wouldn't, if we filmed it in, you know, time-lapse camera, it wouldn't be like a bungee jump. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't be moving a lot.
Yeah.
Alright?
Do you think I told him he's a good-looking fella, Steve. Would you agree with that?
I told Jonathan that he said that he just went for it as well.
Yeah. So you've spent a lot of time picturing Jonathan's naked arse.
You'd let him give you money for arse touchery.
Yeah, whereas your girlfriend's got
no chance,
access to it.
and you're saying he's a good-looking man. Do you want to play a record and think about what you've done?
Interesting.